Alrighty, so in today's video breakdown, we're going to be going over some new ongoing developments and um, opportunities that are existing in the now with our XRP in collaboration with the Flare ecosystem, minting F assets. We're going to cover that in today's video breakdown. I'm going to just go over what you're going to be able to do with your F assets on one particular platform, i.e. Firelight. And now, because that has not officially launched yet on mainnet, which is supposed to, I'm assuming, going to launch in the next week because on their roadmap, it says that they're going to launch in Q3 2025, which is over in 7 days, give or take. Today's the 24th, so the 30th of September, we roll over into Q4. So I'm assuming that because F assets went live today, we're probably going to see an announcement here in the coming days that you're going to be able to use Firelight, at least the people that signed up early and got that verification email that you're going to be able to be one of the first users of Firelight, I myself included, and a couple of other individuals in this community, I'm pretty sure as well. We're able to get in on that waiting list of about 3,000 participants. So I'm definitely going to be utilizing some FXRP to give you guys some tutorials once I get familiar and comfortable with Firelight once it does launch. But we'll go over how to mint FXRP in the most easiest way possible so everybody can understand it because there is a multitude of ways to do it. I want to just show you guys how easy it is to do. And then I want to get into the announcement from Enosis. So real fast before anybody misses, in my personal opinion, a huge opportunity to get in on Apsis. Guys and gals, I cannot stress enough. Like if you just go look at the Enosis Twitter itself with 105,000 followers. Now it's not to say that you know every follower here is not a bot, but if every follower of the Enosis DEX right now bought one Apsis, the entire Apsis supply would dry up. There's only 15,000 tokens of Apsis. And it is one of the main assets that is going to be utilized as a gas feature for this new Enosis loan feature that was just announced, which is I'm just going to go outright and assume why we're seeing a substantial increase in the price of the Apsis token. I was telling you guys in the Discord, back on, I think it was like the 20th of, yeah, it was the 20th of September. So just a couple of days ago, not to sleep on Apsis below $2,000. There's a reason for this. It was because this was the day shortly after the Enosis announcement was live. So you can see here their announcement was on September 19th. I saw that announcement. I saw that Apsis was trading at about $1,500 per token. As always, trying to let you guys know about opportunities in the moment when they exist, not after they exist. I tried to warn you guys. I was able to scoop up another 2 or 3 Apsis tokens, only like 2.7 Apsis tokens, additionally to my 10 already existing Apsis tokens, and now that position is in profit. So hopefully you guys can still accumulate some Apsis tokens, even if you don't get a full one. I think having some exposure to this coin, considering that its all-time high is sitting at $165,000 per token, is a good buy-in right now, under $3,000. So that's just my personal opinion, not financial advice. Moving on. So let's get into this announcement. This is from September 24th, 2025. F assets are now live on Flare mainnet. And because a lot of us in this community hold XRP and are looking for XRP opportunities, even though it's weird, Flare's like touting that they're the first, blockchain and building out the first protocols that are allowing DeFi for XRP users. That's not true. XPR Network has been at the forefront of that for over a year now, providing lending and borrowing solutions for XRP holders, albeit their yield is kind of crappy, not going to lie. They've still been at the forefront of this, but still now we're seeing some price appreciation on Flare today. And then obviously, of course, Apsis with these recent announcements. So I'm pretty sure things are going to continue to start to ramp up here in the coming months. So let's, as a community, understand how to mint FXRP. And then understand as we progress what we can do with it. So starting with FXRP v1.2, With the long-awaited launch of the first F asset, XRP holders now have the ability to mint FXRP on Flare and start putting XRP to work across Flare DeFi's ecosystem. This is the start of the XRP DeFi awakening. Like I said, it's not really. If you know, you know, right? XRP DeFi has been readily available for some time now. Players honestly kind of behind, lagging a little bit in my opinion, but besides the point. F assets are Flare's protocol for turning non-smart contract enabled cryptocurrencies like XRP. Sorry to meet you guys again. Like XRP into assets that can be used in DeFi on Flare and beyond. They are one-to-one representations of the original asset XRP to FXRP, secured through an over-collateralized system of independent agents and secured by Flare's enshrined data protocols. The result, non-smart contract assets gain access to the full potential of Flare's composable decentralized finance ecosystem, including DEX trading, lending, stablecoin minting, liquid staking, and other use cases. So in this, it talks about how to acquire and use FXRP, and it gives you down here some different solutions on this AU website, fsets.au.cc connect, where you can go in and you can use this platform to mint F assets. Also over here on the Oracle Daemon platform, it's kind of like a representation of this same thing. I personally think that this is the hardest route to go, so I'm not going to cover this particular route today. As I mentioned, I want to go over the easiest route for you guys. And that involves using a DEX and just doing a swap one-to-one for XRP to FXRP, right? So if you guys want to take it upon yourselves to use that route, more power to you. I just found that to be not necessarily difficult because there is a simple minting video watch that you can go down here and watch. It's about a minute and 30 seconds. But still, for people that are like new to DeFi, I feel like just the swap feature on the DEX is like the easiest route. So that's what we're going to go over today. So you can see here on Flare, they posted. You can also get FXRP directly on Flare by swapping on DEXs like SparkDEX and Blaze Swap. So we're going to be utilizing SparkDEX for this particular example. And what you're going to be able to do with this FXRP, particularly when Firelight launches, is you're going to be able to mint FXRP at a one-to-one ratio for your XRP. You're then going to be able to deposit that into Firelight vaults when it goes live to start to earn STXRP, which is the liquid stake token of XRP. And you're going to be able to utilize that in the DeFi ecosystem for additional yield and Firelight points, which I'm personally excited for, right? Hopefully, Firelight doesn't have any infrastructure problems when it launches. We can get Carlton to check that in days to come. But if you come over here to Firelight as well, so you go to the Firelight Finance website, you can see down here at the bottom, because a lot of people might be confused at this post, well, why can't we use FXRP on Firelight yet? Down here, it goes on to mention when will Firelight launch, and it says Firelight will launch in Q3 2025. So depending on if you're watching this as a recording, it might have launched by then, but now as of time of recording, it has not. So end of Q3 2025 is in just a few days. So we'll see if they stick to this roadmap and they do launch, which I'm just going to go out right and assume because of the announcement today by Flare, we're probably going to see that announcement relatively soon. All right. Keep in mind that I'm pretty sure that it's only going to be the initial 3,000 people that were approved to use Firelight when it launches that are going to be able to utilize it at first glance. Just be mindful of that. Coming over here, so first thing that you're going to need to do, obviously, of course, you're going to need to have Flare. Whatever route you take to get that, you're going to need Flare. However, again, choose to go get that. I personally use Coinbase. And you're also going to need some Flare, a very small amount because it's not a lot in terms of gas fees, in your Bifrost wallet. So personally, step one is I bought Flare on Coinbase, and then I simply sent that over to my Bifrost wallet. So once you have the Flare in your Bifrost wallet, you can then connect your Bifrost wallet to the SparkDEX. So you just come over to sparkdex.ai/stake/XSPRK, or just go to sparkdex.ai. It'll take you to their homepage. You'll click launch app and you'll come up here to their swap feature in the top left-hand corner. Once you're on this page, you're going to go ahead and click Connect Wallet. You can see here the Wallet Connect tab. I'm going to go ahead and connect my wallet to this real fast. Simply on my mobile device, I'm just going into my Bifrost wallet, hitting the four square dashboard with the up arrow, and then hitting connect, and it allows me to scan a QR code. I'm going to go ahead and connect. You can see now I'm connected. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to choose the asset that I want to swap for FXRP. In this case, I'm going to swap Flare for FXRP. You can just send Flare to the SparkDex and swap it out for FXRP. Long story short, I'm not even going to do that just so that way you guys know. Boom, Flare, you can swap it to FXRP, go through, process the transaction just to save time for the sake of this video, and then you'll have FXRP in your wallet, right? So it's very simplistic. It's not difficult. Simplest way to get FXRP. Then boom, you now have the asset that you can go and you can utilize in the DeFi ecosystem in Flare Network, in this case in Firelight. Now, another thing that you can do with your FXRP is with this new announcement via Gnosis is you can lend out that FXRP, post it as collateral. You can borrow a stablecoin CDP against it, and then you can take that CDP, that stablecoin, and you can go and you can earn additional rewards on it. So I'm going to briefly show you guys how to do that. All right. So coming over here to the Gnosis Dex Twitter profile, I always feel like that's the safest route to get the best and most accurate links is just coming here and clicking directly on the links on their page. That is going to take you over here to the gnosis.global website. You're then going to come right down here to where it says products at the top right-hand side. Scroll down to where it says loans. Once you click that, this page is going to pop up. You're going to click use product. And then it's going to take you to this page. This is the testnet version .loans.gnosis.global. You can see up here, again, same thing as the SparkDex. You have the connect wallet feature. So you would go in, you would connect your wallet, in this case, Bifrost. It is also compatible with Ledger, I believe. So if you would rather have a cold storage wallet connected to this device, you can, I'm just going to go out right and assume connect Tangem as well because you have the wallet connect feature. But it's also compatible with Ledger. All right. So up at the top, you have three choices. You have the dashboard, you have the borrow, and you have the earn tab. So we're going to go over each of these briefly. And this is actually a pretty powerful platform in my personal opinion. Now, the only thing I don't like about Flare compared to other protocols and other networks and other platforms is it's like, it still seems very clunky. It's not all in one compact wallet user interface where everything's just in one location like it is on WebAuth. You have to go to different web browsers. You have to take different routes, this, and that. Understand that not every single ecosystem is going to be the same. It's unfortunate, but part of the game, right? So first, going over the borrow feature. So it says here up at the top, open up your own in first position. Borrow, you can mint CDP dollars against your collateral at whatever interest rate you want. We'll get into what CDP is here in just a second so that way you understand that it is just a stable coin, right? So if you click this, it's going to take you to this page where you are going to be able to post your FXRP that you had minted as collateral. All right. So anybody that is confused on that key vocabulary word right there, what does it actually mean in simplistic terms when you're posting a digital asset as collateral so nobody's confused? All right. So just having ChatGPT break this down for you guys in very simplistic terms and what you can do with this, think of it like a security deposit. Imagine that you want to borrow a bike from a shop, but the owner wants to make sure that you'll bring the bike back. You give them your phone or some cash as a security deposit. If you return the bike, you get your phone or your cash back. If you don't, the shop keeps it. Posting crypto as collateral is the same thing. Instead of a phone, you lock up your crypto like Bitcoin, XRP, or stablecoins as collateral. Instead of a bike, you might borrow dollars or stablecoins or another asset. In this case, you're going to be borrowing CDP against it. How does it work in DeFi or crypto lending? First, you lock up your asset as collateral, in this case, FXRP. So you would send your crypto to a smart contract or lending platform, in this case, Enosis Lending, get a loan. The platform then allows you to loan or take a loan out against your crypto, usually in stablecoins or another crypto asset, without checking your credit score. That's extremely important. It allows you also to keep ownership. So you still own the crypto that you locked up. And if it goes up in price, the value is still yours as long as you pay your initial loan back. What you can do with the loan is you can buy more crypto, you can invest it elsewhere, you can pay real world bills without selling your hard earned crypto. So you can always deposit the stable coins, sell them into or swap them into another stable coin, deposit that stable coin into your bank account and go out and spend it in the real world. Or just have a crypto card, send the stable coins to your crypto card and spend those crypto assets in real time on your crypto card. What I personally expand to do is earn additional income with my borrowed assets by using the borrowed assets in DeFi strategies, which is what I'm going to show you guys can do today. There's obviously, of course, a risk via the price of your collateral. If it drops, the platform can liquidate or sell to make sure that they get their money back, just like a pawn shop selling an item that you did not reclaim. Right. So putting that in very simplistic terms for you guys so you understand what posting a digital asset as collateral is. So you would come to the borrow feature. You would post your XRP as collateral or your FXRP in this case. So let's say you have 10,000 units of XRP that you've turned into FXRP. That would equate to about $29,000. What I like about this platform is it shows you everything as you go through it. It shows you your liquidation risk. It shows you how much you can borrow against it in a low risk environment, how much you could borrow against it that would make your liquidation threshold high risk, so on and so forth. So you can see 10,000 FXRP or XRP in this case, one-to-one backed with FXRP is roughly about $29,400. So that's how much I would be posting as collateral. Then right down here underneath of that, it says loan. So this is how much I want to borrow against my collateral. So right down here, you can see a green mark, a yellow mark, and an orange mark or red, depending on your color preference. And what this is it's giving you an idea on how much you would want to borrow to stay in the green or have a low liquidation risk, medium liquidation risk, or high liquidation risk. In my case, I always want to take the low to medium risk threshold, staying away from high risk in the DeFi space. That's just my personal approach. You might need a higher risk loan against your collateral. Obviously, of course, to each his own. Everybody's case is going to be different. In this case, I'm just going to choose the low risk feature. So it gives you an automatic feature of $8,000, but you can change that if you want. So let's say I want to do something in between low to medium risk and I want to do 12,000, right? It's still going to tell you the risk feature. So $12,000 is still low risk. We can continue to go up to see, let's see what $14,000 puts us at. $14,000 would still be low risk, so it's probably not going to change to more medium risk until it hits that 16K. So I would, in my personal opinion, again, not financial advice, if you need the money, borrow as much as you can. That still keeps you in the low risk threshold. All right. Just so that way you're always mitigating your risk. Next, you have the right underneath of that, the interest rate average. So what I really like about this platform is you can always change your own interest rate. All right. So you can come in here, you can adjust your interest rate at any time. Understand though that if you adjust your interest rate after 7 days of taking this position, it does charge you a fee. Now, it doesn't state how much that fee is, but it does state here that there is a fee if you adjust this interest rate after 7 days of taking out the loan. What I like about this though is it tells you your redemption risk. So the higher APR that you pay per year, the interest rate that you pay per year to pay back your loan, the lower your risk is going to be. The lower amount that you pay back in terms of your annual rate on your loan per year, the higher your risk is going to be. So obviously, of course, again, to play this strategy the safest, you want the annual rate that you pay back on your loan to be in the lower percentile risk ratio, right? Another thing that I like about this is it tells you how much money you're going to need to pay back per year. So I don't know why this changed, but let's go back and take that to up to 8K. So I'm borrowing $8,000 against my $29,000. And you can see that if I was to pay an interest rate of 5.9% per year, as you can see right here, that would equate to $473 per year that I would have to pay back on this loan to keep my liquidation risk low. That's not a lot of money, right? $473 per year. You could probably pay that back with just interest or rewards that I'm going to be generating from this $8,000. Okay. Depending on what you do with the $8,000 once you borrow against it. But you can see that the amount changes as I scale this up. So let's say I want to try to pay this back as fast as possible at 15% per year. You can see that it gives me the amount I would need to pay back $1,243 per year in order to pay it back. And then same thing if I take this down, making a more medium risk redemption, I would need to pay with a 1.4% per year interest rate, $112, okay, per year. So I like that feature that again, it just makes it all very transparent, especially for users that aren't used to this. It gives you a very good visual of how much you would owe, percentage ratios, and gives you good color coordination for your risk appetite. All right. Now, what I would like everybody to do if you're going to use this platform is come down here and learn more about the redemption feature here, what this means. I'm not going to get into detail on that, but there's a really good, it's about a 9-minute long video that explains your redemption risk. Pretty much same thing, loan to value ratio. It's pretty much the same thing, just making sure that you don't get liquidated, understand those risk parameters, watch that 9-minute video, put it on 1.25 speed, very transparent and easily digestible. All right. So once you go through with this, let's say for the sake of this example, I go through to the next summary. What you're going to find on the next page is you're going to have the ability to update your loan, pay your interest rate, close the loan in full by paying it back. You're going to be able to click a couple of different features like how much you want to repay, all that stuff. But because this isn't a live example and I'm not going through this with actual money, I'm not able to go to the next page. But this is what it looks like once you go in, you solidify it, your CDP will be in your wallet, and you'll be able to use that CDP for whatever you want in the DeFi ecosystem. In this case, you're going to be utilizing it on the Anosis platform to earn additional yield. So once you have the CDP and after you've borrowed against your collateral, in this case, again, taking out an $8,000 loan on my $29,000 deposit, which is 10,000 units worth of FXRP. Back up here, you have again the dashboard. So taking you back to the dashboard, we just went over the borrow feature. Then you have the earn feature. So what can you do with your CDP once you've borrowed against your collateral and got the CDP token? You can deposit the CDP dollar to earn protocol revenues and liquidation proceeds. So you would come over here to the earn feature with your CDP in your wallet now, and the CDP dollar can be deposited in stability pools and earn rewards from fees that users pay on their loans. And also the CDP dollar may be swapped to collateral in case the system needs to liquidate positions. So right down here, you can see the deposit is you're depositing your CDP in this stability pool. And right now, this stability pool is offering 576% APR. Now, I don't know if these APRs are going to fluctuate. I'm going to go outright and assume that they are, but this is still a substantial amount of APR for just depositing $8,000 into this pool. Say I were to move through with this type of an example. You have another one down here. This TVL is relatively low. That's why I'm not going over it, because you can see here this TVL meets our minimum TVL requirements, which is at least $500,000 in the pool. So this is the only pool right now that meets those minimum thresholds, at least for me to feel safe to actually deposit into this pool. I would still wait for this pool to increase in terms of TVL. And same thing with this one. This one only has $250,000. So that way you're understanding where the yield comes from. It's very transparent. When you come over here to the document, it tells you where the yield comes from. So the yield comes from three different sources. Each borrow market funnels 75% of its revenue to its stability pool depositors. This is paid out in CDP. So what is CDP? CDP is the USD peg stablecoin issued in Enosis loans. It's fully decentralized, over collateralized, and backed by quality assets such as FXRP. Down here, it says another way in which the yield comes from is your CDP will be used to liquidate under collateralized loans, effectively buying their collateral with a 5% discount. This is paid out in the collateral asset. And then also in incentives. This is important. This is what I was talking about, the underlying asset, APSIS, and how it plays a role in all of this is through incentives. Stability pool stakers will be incentivized with wrapped flare and APSIS token. So I'm just going to go outright, like I said, and assume that that is where all of the demand is coming from in APSIS token, and it's probably only going to continue to scale as more people figure out how to utilize these lending and borrowing platforms in this decentralized finance ecosystem, right? So that's where the yield comes up from. There's a lot of information in these documents like lockup periods. There is no lockup periods. There's again a whole entire page on redemptions and what they are. When do the redemptions occur? Who can initiate redemptions? What happens if your overall positions get redeemed? So on and so forth. Like I said, go through and read that. It also talks about different collateral controls and how you have the ability to, pay back your loan in full. You have the ability to adjust your interest rate, all of that stuff. But this just seems like a really crazy opportunity to me. Again, like I said, we're headed into this decentralized finance ecosystem where we're entering into an environment we don't have to sell our digital assets. So let's again say in the future, right? XRP goes to $1,000 per token, and we want to buy ourselves a nice house or we want to do something extravagant. Here is another platform that we can take our XRP to, mint FXRP, come over here, deposit our FXRP as collateral, take a loan out against it, and then go and utilize the CDP dollar in the DeFi ecosystem either to earn additional yields or pay ourselves, spend it however we see fit. Hopefully, you're earning additional yield on it to maximize your rewards. But again, taking out loans on your crypto and on your assets that you've been accumulating and working hard for instead of selling them for fiat currency. All right. So, real simplistic overview, just two new features that are coming. One becoming available on Firelight, which I mentioned has not launched yet, should be launching very shortly. You will need FXRP to participate in both of these ecosystems, so that way you guys understand how to get FXRP. Again, a simple swap on DEX is the easiest route. You guys can take a different route to get that by going over here to the flare.network website and clicking on the AU or Oracle Daemon to mint FXRP websites. Very simplistic to do that as well. You just need to watch about a minute, 30-second long video. Teaches you how to do that. I think it's a little bit more complex for people that aren't too familiar with how to do something like that. So again, like I said, the swap feature is just the easiest route. But outside of that, really simplistic breakdown today. I didn't have any fundamental updates for you guys, so I just wanted to go over these two new features, something that I'm definitely going to be paying attention to and utilizing in the future, as I have a lot of Flare and I have a lot of XRP that I definitely want to get working for me in the near future. So that's my spiel for today. If you guys have any questions, I'll try to answer them as best as I possibly can. I'm still learning this platform just as you guys are. So I'm going along with my knowledge as things scale and as they come out. I will continue to update you guys. I will probably actually do a more in-depth how-to video breakdown once the Firelight feature goes live on Firelight, how to, come over here, stake XRP to get and return the liquid stake token, STXRP, and utilize it in the DeFi ecosystem, right? To earn additional rewards. So I'm excited for that. You guys can look forward to that in the near future whenever this does launch. But yeah, outside of that, that's all that I have for you guys. I just wanted to show you some new features in this Enosis lending protocol that was just announced a couple of days ago and how to utilize it. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And if not, then I'll see you guys in Kevin's DeFi call later today.